class,
Good
we were
evening, sir.
good evening, beta. Good evening. So in the last class, we were discussing Rutherford scattering, and they have come to the conclusion that the radius of the nuclei is of the order of 10 to the power minus 15 meters. This is roughly 10 to the power minus 15 or 10 to the power minus 14 meters. So basically, Rutherford draw a very important conclusion that the size of the radius of the nuclei is less than 10 to the power minus 14 or less than minus 4 of the order of 10 to the power minus 15 meters. Later on, when he developed his mathematical model, he concluded two very important formula. He derived two important formulas. One I have discussed in the last class, and the second one is this one. Second one is angular scattering distribution. Second formula that was derived by the Rutherford, that was angular scattering distribution. So what is the meaning of n theta? It means after scattering from the gold foil, these alpha particles are moving in different directions. With respect to the original direction of alpha particle beam, this theta is measured. This theta is measured with respect to incident direction of the alpha particle beam. So if you want to calculate the number of alpha particles scattered at some angle theta, then this is given by this one. Here, this Ni is total number of incident alpha particles. Here, this Ni is total number of alpha particles.
सर वो ठीक नहीं है.
क्या बेटा? Ni is equal to total number of alpha particles. Ni is equal to total number of alpha particles, where this n, small n, this is number of atoms per unit volume of gold foil. Number of atoms per unit volume of gold foil, they are given by small n. This T is the thickness of the foil. This T is thickness of the foil. Thickness of the foil. And K is equal to kinetic energy of alpha particle. Then what is this R? Here this R is basically, if you have this gold foil and alpha particles are incident from this direction, then this gold foil, you are aware that this is surrounded by a strip of ZNS.
सर ये n इक्वल नैनो ऑफ एटम पर यूनिट से आगे क्या सर?
क्या बेटा? n is small, n equal to number of atoms per unit volume. क्या आपको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा क्या बेटा? मुझे तो साफ आ रही है स्क्रीन मेरे यहाँ तो. n small n is
क्लियर है सर, क्लियर.
बेटा एक्चुअली थोड़ी आपकी नेट की प्रॉब्लम भी हो सकती है, क्योंकि मेरे यहाँ से सही क्लीन आ रहा है, बिल्कुल क्लियर आ रहा है
सर. क्लियर.
हाँ. So this n is equal to number of atoms per unit volume of the foil. N is number of atoms per unit volume of the foil. This K kinetic energy, T thickness of the foil, and what is this R? So if we are considering this as a circle and this foil is placed at the center, this foil is considered as a point source and its radius in all directions. This is the radius in different directions. So this is R. So R is the separation between the center and this ZNS foil, on which alpha particles are striking and they are creating some type of scintillation, and with the help of that we can count the number of alpha particles. So this is R. R is this separation. So with the help of this formula, you can solve few numericals in which they can ask you to calculate. वो क्या करेंगे, आपको एक पर्टिकुलर θ1 पे n का नंबर बता देंगे और थीटा की वैल्यू देंगे θ1, and then they will give you another theta value θ2, and they will ask you to calculate the number of particles scattered in that direction. ये भी हो सकता है कि उनका काइनेटिक एनर्जी अलग अलग हो या सेम भी हो सकता है, अगर सेम होगा तो कैंसिल आउट हो जाएंगे. This Z can be different for two different foils, so there can be a numerical on the basis of this formula. You have to remember this formula and dependence of this n theta on Z, K and sin to the power 4 theta by 2. So these two formulas.
सर ये R नहीं समझ आया.
बेटा देखो R क्या था, ये अल्फा पार्टिकल की बीम स्ट्राइक कर रही थी किस पे, ये फॉयल था हमारा.
जी सर.
This foil was placed at the center. This foil was placed at the center of this ZNS. ये क्या था, ZNS का फिल्म है जो सभी डायरेक्शंस में लगाया गया है ताकि अल्फा पार्टिकल अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में स्कैटर होंगे तो हमें उनका नंबर काउंट करने में इजी रहेगी. ठीक है, तो जो जिस स्फीयर के जिस सर्कल के सेंटर पे हमने ये रखा हुआ है गोल्ड फॉयल, उस सर्कल का जो रेडियस है दैट इज R.
ओके सर.
वो R है. ठीक है. So these two formulas were derived by Rutherford. At this time, at the time of Rutherford, basically they were clear. At the time of Rutherford, roughly in 1911, they were clear about the massive mass of the nuclei. They were clear that at the center we have positive charge, complete positive charge is concentrated in this nuclei. Total mass is also concentrated, but still their idea about nuclei was not clear. Their idea about nuclei was not very clear. It becomes more clearer only when the Chadwick discovered this neutron. Basically, with the help of the discovery of neutron, later on this proton-neutron model of the nuclei was developed. But how this neutron was discovered by the Chadwick, that is an important thing. So there was a scientist whose name is Bothe, B-O-T-H-E, Bothe. He performed an experiment. There was a scientist whose name was Bothe. He performed his experiment somewhere near 1931 to 1932. What his experiment was? His experiment was very simple. He chose an alpha particle source. He chose an alpha particle source like polonium-210. So what is this? This is alpha particle source. This is alpha particle source. Okay? When these alpha particles strike this beryllium foil, then he observed. So basically, Bothe performed an experiment in which this polonium-210, which is a alpha particle source, this is emitting alpha particles, and when these alpha particles are falling on this beryllium foil, then here on this side he observed an unknown radiation. He observed unknown radiation. So this was his experiment. And penetration power of this radiation was very high. And what he observed, that penetration power of this radiation was so high that it can even penetrate through lead. But he was not aware about the nature of this radiation. Later on, Curie performed an experiment, and what she did, she passed this radiation. She passed this radiation through a paraffin sheet. paraffin sheet. This sheet was added by Curie. And when this radiation was incident on this paraffin sheet, what she observed on this side? She observed that protons carrying energy roughly 5.7 MeV, 5.7 MeV के protons बेटा उन्होंने observe किए. So she observed protons whose energy was roughly 5.7 MeV on the right hand side of this paraffin sheet. So this second part was added by Curie. And now question was how to satisfy this result? How can you explain this result? So for this, what Curie was saying that these radiation, what is the Curie's theory? She was saying that this radiation is gamma rays. What she was saying, उन्होंने जो explanation दिया उनके according this radiation was made up of gamma rays whose origin is from nuclei, and when these gamma rays are incident on this foil, on this paraffin sheet, then these gamma rays they undergo Compton scattering. And as a result of this Compton scattering, we are getting protons of energy 5.7 MeV. This was her explanation. That this unknown radiation is gamma rays, and when these gamma rays are incident on this paraffin sheet, and then in paraffin sheet these gamma rays undergo Compton scattering, and as a result of this Compton scattering we are getting these protons whose energy is 5.7 MeV. This was her explanation. Then what people did, they do reverse calculation for Compton scattering. They do reverse calculation for the Compton scattering, and they find out that if you want protons of energy 5.7 MeV on this side as a result of Compton scattering, then energy of this gamma rays, it should be of the order of 55 MeV. Then energy of gamma rays should be 55 MeV. And at that time, in nearly 1932, gamma rays of such high energy 55 MeV, this number was unknown. They were not aware that this 555 MeV energy can be carried by some rays or EM radiation. So they were not aware of it. So his concept was not, basically her explanation was not accepted at that time. Her explanation was not accepted by the other scientists. So in 1932, Chadwick came into the picture, and what he said that this radiation is not gamma rays. This is not gamma rays. Rather, this radiation or this unknown radiation is made up of neutral. This is made up of neutral particles whose mass is nearly same as the mass of proton, or which is carrying nearly mass that is equal to proton. So what was his suggestion? He was saying that no, these are not gamma ray photon, rather these are neutral particles whose mass is nearly the equal to the mass of the proton. And when this mass of the proton is interacting with this paraffin sheet, तो paraffin sheet के अंदर क्या होंगे बेटा, हाइड्रोजन एटम्स होंगे, और mass of the proton and mass of the hydrogen atoms, that will be nearly equal. So due to this reason, these neutral particles will undergo head-on collisions. They will go head-on collisions, and they can transfer all of their energy to the proton, whose mass is nearly equal to the mass of neutral particles, and they will move here on this side. So neutral particles are striking here, they are undergoing head-on collision. आपने classical mechanics में पढ़ा होगा कि अगर दो particles हैं बेटा जिनका mass equal है, if they undergo head-on collision, then all of the kinetic energy of one particle can be transferred to the other particles. So automatically these neutrons, they are providing all the energy to the protons and they are moving out. And for the emission of protons of 5.7 MeV energy, what we need here, that the mass of these neutral particles should be of the order of 5.7 MeV only. अगर इनके पास 5.7 MeV एनर्जी है तो ये हेड ऑन कोलिजन में जाएंगे and they can transfer all of their energy to the protons and they will move out. This theory was very appreciating at that time, and then a lot of experiments were performed to verify this, and later on they verify all these experiments verified his thinking, his suggestion, and they were satisfied that here this radiation is made up of neutral particles whose mass is of the order of mass of proton, and this is known as neutron. This is known as neutron. So in this way, these neutrons comes into the picture, and these neutrons plays one of the most significant role in nuclear physics through scattering experiments. This neutron provides us a lot of information about the nuclei through scattering experiments. Now question arises, what are the constituents of the nucleus? Now question was, what are the constituents of the nucleus? So now question is, what are
Sir,
the
न्यूट्रल पार्टिकल्स के पास कितनी एनर्जी थी पहले?
Roughly 5.7 MeV. उसी के आसपास, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं, 6 MeV से भी कम एनर्जी होगी, then they can scatter protons or they can strike out protons out of this paraffin sheet. So next question arises, what are the constituent particles of the nucleus? What are the constituent particles? Constituent particles of nucleus. हमें आज के तरीके से नहीं सोचना, हम उस टाइम से सोचते हैं when they were trying to predict the constituent particles. So what was happening at that time? They were observing that in the radioactive process, beta particles are emitted as well as alpha particles are emitted. And they find out that this alpha particle is 2He4 nuclei and this beta particle is either proton or they are positron. So either they are electron or they are positrons. So what they have observed experimentally at that time, the emission of alpha and beta particles. तो उन्होंने क्या ऑब्जर्व किया कि भाई न्यूक्लियाई से दो तरीके के पार्टिकल इमिट होते हैं, एक अल्फा पार्टिकल्स हैं जो क्या है 2He4 न्यूक्लियाई है, और दूसरा जो है बीटा पार्टिकल्स हैं, वो इलेक्ट्रॉन भी हो सकते हैं और पॉजिट्रॉन भी हो सकते हैं. So automatically first suggestion was that inside the nuclei there are two type of particles. One is proton, another is electron. One was proton, another was neutron. So first model was the proton electron model of the nuclei. First model was proton and electron. Proton and electron model. What they were suggesting? If we have a nuclei ZXA, if we have a nuclei ZXA, this is ZXA. Z is the charge number, A is the mass number, X is some nuclei. Then what they were saying that inside the nuclei, number of neutrons will be equal to A. Inside the nuclei, number of neutrons will be equal to A. Number of electrons will be equal to A minus Z. So these two type of particles were inside the nuclei, and outside the nuclei we have Z number of electrons. So this was their suggestion. Their suggestion was inside the nuclei, total number of, this is not neutron, sorry. This is proton. This is proton electron model. So number of proton inside the nuclei is equal to A, and number of electron is A minus Z, and Z electrons are outside the nuclei. So total number of electron is all A minus Z plus Z. So this will be A. Number of proton was equal to A. So atom was neutral. In this way, they have satisfied the neutral behavior of the atom. At the same time, here number of proton is equal to A, and mass of the nuclei is nearly equal to A unit, AMU. Atomic mass unit was AMU, and their mass of the nuclei was roughly A times AMU. Okay. So both these mass and charge neutrality condition of the atom was satisfied with the help of this model. They were able to satisfy this. But there were some problems. Which cannot be explained. On the basis of this model. But they were not able to explain various facts established experimentally. And first of these facts, I will discuss 3 or 4 facts which will be very helpful for your understanding point of view, as well as from exam point of view also. So first failure of this proton electron model was on the basis of spin and statistics. Spin and statistics. First failure of this model, this is first model, was on the basis of spin and statistics. How this failed? Suppose I am taking an example here, like a simple example is 7 and 14. So according to this model, number of proton will be equal to A, this will be 40. And inside the nuclei, number of electron, I'm talking about number of particles inside the nuclei, they will be equal to A minus Z, so their number will be 7. So what will be the spin of this nuclei? So if you want to calculate spin, then here number of protons is 14, even number is there. So they will be paired up. There will be 7 pair of neutrons here, 7 pair of neutrons here, 3, 5, 6 and 7. There will be 7 pair of protons here. So one will be spin up, another will be spin down. So total spin due to the protons will be 0. So total spin due to the protons will be 0. For electrons inside the nuclei, we will have 3 complete pairs, and we have 1 unpaired. We have this unpaired electron inside the nuclei, and the spin of this unpaired electron will be equal to half. So what they find out, that total angular momentum quantum number for this or the spin of this nuclei, it will be half. And when it is equal to half integer spin, then this type of nuclei, they should behave. They will act as fermions, and they will follow Fermi-Dirac statistics. So this was their observation according to this model. If they are applying this model for this, then this should be the result. But when they find out this I experimentally,
Sir, what is this I?
you can say this is angular momentum quantum number, or इसे spin भी बोलते हैं. angular momentum
So
quantum
please
number
explain this NE is equal to 7.
हाँ बेटा, ये मैंने फॉर्मूला लिखा है ना यहाँ, देखो
Yes,
NP
sir.
नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स कितने होंगे, A के बराबर, तो A कितना है बेटा 14, तो 14 हो गया। Ne कितने होंगे न्यूक्लियाई के अंदर, दिस विल बी A माइनस जेड, A कितना है 14 माइनस 7, दिस विल बी इक्वल टू 7। सो एक्सपेरिमेंट, हाँ जी बेटा बताओ।
सर स्पिन का आपने कुछ बताया था यहाँ पर,
this is known as angular momentum spin or angular momentum quantum number. This is known as angular momentum spin or angular momentum quantum number. This is half, and you are aware when spin is half, then they will be fermions, and when they will be fermions, then the collection of this type of nuclei, they will follow Fermi-Dirac statistics. But experimentally, what they observed, that this I is 1 and collection of this 7 and 14, they are following Bose-Einstein statistics.
Sir, spin can be plus half as well as minus half or only plus half?
बेटा स्पिन तो इसकी है ना हाफ ही होगी, लेकिन जब आप इस न्यूक्लियाई को बेटा किसी उसमें रखते हो, न्यूक्लियर फोर्स के अंदर में रखते हैं, तो इट कैन बी either in the direction of this specified direction or it can be in the opposite direction. ठीक है, जैसे आपका एटॉमिक फिजिक्स में जब इलेक्ट्रॉन लेते हैं तो इलेक्ट्रॉन का स्पिन तो हाफ होता है, बट व्हेन यू प्लेस दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन इन सम एक्सटर्नल मैग्नेटिक फील्ड, देन व्हाट हैपेंस, इट कैन हैव टू ओरिएंटेशन. इफ यू प्लेस अ स्पिन in this externally applied field and suppose then the spin of the electron, it can have these two orientations. ठीक है, spin is here half, spin is here, it is equal to half, spin is half. अगर आप इसका s की वैल्यू निकालोगे बेटा यहाँ पे, this will be under root, this suppose this is small s, this is small s, this will be s plus 1, ठीक है, h cross, this will be the value, their magnitude will be equal, but their orientation with respect to this specified direction of external or internal magnetic field, this can have only two orientation, and when you resolve these two orientations along this, then here this value will be plus half h cross, this comes out to be minus half h cross. When you will do atomic physics, your teacher will tell you. So basically here this parallel component is parallel to the z-axis and this component is opposite to the z-axis. So this is known as spin up. This position is known as spin up because its z component is parallel to the z-axis, and this component is known as spin down because this spin is anti-parallel to this specific direction z. So this is spin up and spin down. In a similar fashion, here in some external field, it can have two orientations, but its spin quantum number will be equal. This will be equal to half. ठीक है, तो प्लस और माइनस उसके ओरिएंटेशन को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, बट अगर मैग्नीट्यूड वाइज बात करें, इट विल बी हाफ.
सर स्पिन 1 के लिए कोई एग्जांपल दीजिए सर. स्पिन 1 कैसे हो सकते हैं यहाँ पे? जैसे अब तो हमने इसके सिंगल इलेक्ट्रॉन के लिए दिखा दिया कि अप एंड डाउन, लेकिन 1 के लिए कैसे शो करेंगे?
हाँ, वो 1 के लिए भी शो करेंगे, वो थोड़ी देर बाद करेंगे. वो तब शो करेंगे बेटा जब आई विल डिस्कस सेकंड मॉडल, प्रोटॉन एंड न्यूट्रॉन मॉडल. Then I will show you how spin can be 0 or how spin can be 1. Spin can be 0 also. Not only 1, this can be 0 also. ठीक है, so this is experimentally ये verify नहीं हुआ, तो this was a failure of this model. This was the first failure. So I am removing this now. Now come to the second failure. Second failure is nuclear magnetic moment of the nuclei. Second failure is about the prediction of nuclear magnetic moment. Magnetic moment. So here angular momentum was due to this unpaired angular momentum spin was due to this unpaired electron inside the nuclei. So this unpaired electron will be responsible for nuclear magnetic moment, because nuclear magnetic moment is developed by the angular momentum. So angular momentum का जो reason है, that is unpaired electron. So only due to the unpaired electron we will have nuclear magnetic moment. And what will be its value for one electron? Its value will be roughly, mu equal to mu b. This is known as Bohr magnetron. This is known as Bohr magnetron. This mu b is known as Bohr magnetron. This is the unit of magnetic moment. So this will be 1 mu b roughly. Mu b की value बेटा कितनी होती है? This will be E h cross upon 2 times mass of E. This is the expression of this mu, 2 times me. Now I multiply, what I did, I multiplied this by 1837 in numerator and in denominator also 1837. ठीक है? Now this 1837 times mass of electron, अगर इन दोनों को कंबाइन कर दूं तो बेटा ये कितना हो जाएगा? मास ऑफ प्रोटॉन और मास ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन. ठीक है? प्रोटॉन और न्यूट्रॉन जो होते हैं, they are 1837 times heavier as compared to the electron. So what I will have mu is roughly equal to, this will be E h cross, or I can write it as 1837 multiplied by E h cross upon 2m. This will be any nucleon. This can be proton or neutron, doesn't matter. ठीक है? Or I can write it simply proton for your, because here we are discussing proton electron model, so I am writing it. And this is known as nuclear Bohr magnetron. This is known as nuclear Bohr magnetron. आपने ग्रेजुएशन में भी पढ़ा होगा ये. This is known as nuclear Bohr magnetron. आगे मैं भी पढ़ाऊंगा. जब मैं प्रोटॉन का मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट कितना होता है, न्यूट्रॉन का कितना होता है, न्यूक्लियाई का कितना. Later in the second chapter, basically in the shell model, we will also be able to find out the magnetic moment and angular momentum of any nuclei. We will be able to do that. But here this mu comes out to be 1837 times mu n. But experimentally they find out that mu for the nuclei of 7 and 14, I'm talking about 7 and 14 nuclei. Experimentally they find out that for this nuclei, this is roughly 0.4 mu n. So this result was also wrong. So this model was not able to explain this result also. This model was not able to find out the nuclear magnetic moment of this 7 and 14 correctly. This is second failure. This is second failure. ठीक है बेटा, लिख लिया ये. Now come to the third failure. I'm removing from this side. Now come to the third failure. That is beta plus minus decay mode. C is beta plus minus decay mode. What people observed experimentally, that dual beta decay is possible. For example, 29 Cu and this will be कितना होगा ये 64. 29 Cu 64. This is a nuclei which emits dual type of beta particle. Dual type of beta particles का मतलब क्या है? This nuclei can emit beta plus as well as beta minus particle. What is the meaning of dual beta decay? meaning of dual beta decay is that this nuclei 29Cu64, it can emit both type of particles, electron as well as positron. So this nuclei can emit electron as well as positron. It means, what is the meaning of this according to this model? The meaning of this, that inside this nuclei, inside the nuclei of this atom, inside the nuclei of this atom, both these particles exist. Inside the nuclei, both electron exists, both electron as well as positron both exist inside the nuclei. अब आप बताओ बेटा, अगर न्यूक्लियाई के अंदर इलेक्ट्रॉन भी है और पोजिट्रॉन भी है तो क्या होगा? They will annihilate. They will annihilate. और जब वो annihilate करेंगे, they will emit.
Emit gamma rays.
हाँ, they will emit large amount of energy. They will emit large amount of energy, और जो बच्चा gamma rays बोल रहा है, that those photons will carry large amount of energy. ठीक है, MEV में energy emit होगा जब ये annihilate करेंगे. So large amount of energy कितना होता है? Roughly 1.02 MeV energy or greater than this. That will also depend on the kinetic energy of these two particles. So minimum इतना energy बेटा release होगा. This energy will, so this nuclei will get this much amount of energy, excess energy. So this nuclei will have this much amount of excess energy. कितना energy ज़्यादा होगा उसके पास? 1.02 MeV. This is huge energy. So it means this nuclei, when this will have so much excess energy, this will be in excited state. This will be in excited state.
सर ये एक्सेस कैसे हो रहा है ये एनर्जी? वो नहीं समझ आया.
देखो बेटा, हमारे पास एक न्यूक्लियाई है, उस न्यूक्लियाई के अंदर वो बोल रहा है कि इलेक्ट्रॉन भी है और प्रोटॉन भी है, क्योंकि पोजिट्रॉन भी इमिट होते हैं रेडियो एक्टिविटी में और न्यूट्रॉन भी होते हैं. और ये जो न्यूक्लियाई है 29Cu64, ये दोनों इमिट करता है. कभी इलेक्ट्रॉन इमिट करता है, कभी बेटा वो पोजिट्रॉन इमिट करता है. इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर वो इमिट कर रहा है तो उसके अंदर वो पहले से है, प्रोटॉन इलेक्ट्रॉन भी है और पोजिट्रॉन भी है उस न्यूक्लियाई के अंदर. जब दोनों ही उसके अंदर है, then there are chances that they will annihilate. They will combine together. जब वो combine कर जाएंगे तो इतना एनर्जी रिलीज होगा उनके annihilation से. और this energy will be, this nuclei will get, or you can say this nuclei will get so much amount of energy due to its annihilation. So automatically this will be in the excited state now. When this will be in excited state, then this nuclei will be unstable. This will become unstable. This will become unstable. But what they find out experimentally? This was according to this model. But experimentally, this nuclei was a stable nuclei. But experimentally, this nuclei was a stable nuclei. So this observation was also wrong. This observation was also wrong. तो ये तीसरा फेलियर था बेटा इस मॉडल. लास्ट फेलियर इन टर्म्स ऑफ बाइंडिंग एनर्जी. ये लिख लो बेटा, इसके बाद मैं फिर ड्रॉप कर देता हूँ. There was a fourth point, binding energy. Whatever I am teaching here, whatever I am speaking, I have tried to summarize all these things in the form of notes. I will give you my notes also. So you will have, you are missing, suppose you miss some lecture or something, so basically you can go through these notes and you will find out it very easy. These are nuclear physics. If you study the nuclear physics systematically, then this is very good. In exam, you will find out at least 3 questions from this section, nuclear physics and particle physics, sometimes 4. Many times you will get 3 questions in that examination every time. It can be 4, it cannot be 2. It It can be 3 or 3 plus something, but you will not get less than this. Questions, most of the times questions are simple to solve. ठीक है, अगर आप systematically पढ़ते हो, then it's easy to solve these questions. So you can get very good marks in nuclear physics. तो systematically पढ़ना है बेटा, कुछ आप miss भी कर जाते हो, then go through the notes. You can study with the help of the notes. You can also discuss with me. कभी doubt class लेंगे तब we can discuss. So basically, fourth failure was in terms of binding energy. So this is D point in terms of binding energy. What is the meaning of binding energy? Here, inside the nuclei, we have electrons. Inside the nuclei, we have electrons. These electrons are leptons. These electrons are leptons, and leptons can never take part in strong interaction. Inside the nuclei, there is a strong interaction between nucleons. Later on, you will observe, you will find out. But if electrons are there inside the nuclei, then these electrons are actually leptons, and they cannot take part in the strong interaction. How they will interact? Because they are carrying the positive charge, so they will interact through electrostatically. They will interact with other charged particles with electrostatical means. So when they will interact with, or they will have Coulombian interaction, then binding energy between two nucleons, this will be of the order of how much? This will be equal to ZE square upon R. This will be of the order of ZE square upon R. And this R will be roughly how much? So we can calculate this value ZE square upon R. I can write it as, I can write this, I will write Z here or Z here. This will be E square. And here I will write H cross C. I divide this by H cross C. So multiply here by H cross C. Why I am dividing and multiplying by H cross C, you will be aware. And here it will be R naught A to the power 1 by 3. This is the radius, size of the nuclei. So roughly इस order का होगा बेटा. इसका advantage क्या है? So this will be the binding energy roughly, or I can write this as, this will be the binding energy. अगर बेटा हम इसे calculate करें, this will be Z, minus sign here, this will be minus sign Z, and this E square upon H cross C, इसकी वैल्यू कितनी होती है बेटा? 1/137. इसकी वैल्यू कितनी होती है? 1/, फाइन स्ट्रक्चर कोफिशिएंट है बेटा, फाइन स्ट्रक्चर कांस्टेंट और फाइन स्ट्रक्चर कोफिशिएंट. जब आप कौन सा मॉडल पढ़ोगे? सोमरफील्ड मॉडल. व्हेन यू विल गो थ्रू सोमरफील्ड मॉडल, in Sommerfeld model he has introduced a quantity that is known as fine structure coefficient, that is E square upon H cross C, and its value is 1/137. और H cross C को बेटा आप हमेशा याद रखोगे, ये वैल्यू हमेशा याद रखनी है. its value is how much? 197 point something है, भूल गया, MeV Fermi. This is the value of H cross C. So what I do here, I will write it as 197 MeV Fermi divided by 137, and this R naught की वैल्यू हम 1.2 Fermi ले लेते हैं. This will be 1.2 Fermi. 1.2 Fermi ले लिया बेटा ये, और ये हो जाएगा A to the power 1 by 3. This is E. Now I can choose few values of Z, like Z is suppose 58, I choose Z is equal to 50. You can choose another values also. This is A is equal to suppose 140. Then you will find out that this E comes out to be minus 13.4. this will be MeV. This femtometer will be cancelled out and unit will be MeV. So this will be the binding energy of electron inside the nuclei. This will be the order of binding energy of an electron inside a nuclei, 13.41 MeV. This is the energy. Now, if this electron has so much binding energy inside the nuclei, then automatically corresponding to this, we can find out the associated de Broglie wavelength. When this electron is moving, surely this electron will be moving inside the nuclei. It is confined within the range of the nucleus. So, and we have calculated that binding energy is of the order of 13.41 MeV inside the nuclei. So we can also calculate, or we can estimate about this lambda. We can also calculate or estimate about lambda, de Broglie wavelength. De Broglie wavelength कितना होगा बेटा इस एनर्जी के corresponding? This will be lambda equal to h upon p. This will be h upon p. तो कितना हो जाएगा बेटा? मैं यहाँ पे बेटा इसे मल्टीप्लाई कर देता हूँ किससे? यहाँ पे मुझे h क्रॉस c की वैल्यू पता है, तो what I will do, I will divide this h by 2 pi and multiply by 2 pi. So this will become here, this will become 2 pi h cross. ठीक है? And here I will have this p multiply by this c, multiply by c. This is pc. This is very high energy. This total energy is very high energy. This is 13.41 MeV. तो ये p किसके बराबर हो जाएगा? pc कितना हो जाएगा बेटा? pc will be, टोटल एनर्जी कितनी होती है? E स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू p स्क्वायर c स्क्वायर प्लस m नॉट स्क्वायर c टू द पावर 4. दिस m नॉट c स्क्वायर कितना होता है बेटा? m नॉट c स्क्वायर इज 0.51 MeV फॉर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. स्क्वायर करोगे तो दिस विल बी 0.5 स्क्वायर, इट विल बी 0.25. सो बेसिकली दिस number is negligible here. This number is negligible, so automatically from here E is roughly equal to PC. So when E is high, when E has very high value, then E will be nearly equal to PC. So I can replace this PC by E. This will be 2 pi h cross C upon E. So this will be 2 into 3.14. h cross C पता है बेटा आपको कितना होता है? 197 MeV for me divided by this E, 13.41 MeV. So MeV will be cancelled out. Then this lambda तो कितना आता है बेटा? Roughly it will be 90 for me. This de Broglie wavelength will be nearly 90 for me, and this value is much greater than the size of the nucleus. Nucleus का size कितना होगा? Nucleus का size होता है बेटा कितना? r naught a to the power 1/3. 2 times ले लो इसका बेटा. ये 1.2 हो गया. 1.2 ले लोगे इसे तो twice करोगे तो 2.4 हो गया. यहाँ से अगर 100 भी ले लूँ या 200 ले लो, this will be nearly 10 to 12 femtometers. This will be 10 to 12 for me. So size of the nuclei will be roughly 12 for me or 15 for me, like this. But here this de Broglie wavelength is 90 for me. This is 90 for me. So it means these electrons cannot exist inside the nuclei. अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एग्जिस्ट करते इस न्यूक्लियाई के अंदर, तो जो मूविंग इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के साथ जो बेटा एसोसिएटेड डी ब्रॉगली वेवलेंथ है, दैट शुड बी ऑफ द ऑर्डर ऑफ द साइज ऑफ द न्यूक्लियर. तभी तो वो उसके अंदर मूव कर सकते हैं, उसके अंदर एग्जिस्ट कर सकते हैं. अगर डी ब्रॉगली वेवलेंथ का जो ऑर्डर होगा वो न्यूक्लियाई के साइज के ऑर्डर के बराबर हो, देन इट कैन एग्जिस्ट. बट हियर देयर इज अ लार्ज डिफरेंस. दिस इज 90 फॉर मी. So they cannot exist. They cannot exist inside. These electrons cannot exist inside the nuclei. With the help of this, you can also prove that electrons cannot exist inside the nuclei. These are 4 different type of statements which are possible to give when someone asks you to prove that these electrons cannot exist inside the nuclei. You can give any of them, but there can be questions in which you will use these type of concepts. So I have discussed in detail. So this is first model. This is first model, that is proton electron model. Tomorrow I will discuss proton neutron model. Tomorrow I am going to discuss proton neutron model. This model basically after the discovery of neutron by Chadwick in 1932. So after the discovery of Chadwick, it was Heisenberg. It was Heisenberg who suggested that these electrons, they don't exist inside the nuclei. Rather, these neutrons, they exist inside the nuclei. It was Heisenberg who suggested that inside the nuclei, these protons exist along with these neutral particles, neutrons, which are discovered by the Chadwick. So on the basis of this, second model was developed. And second model was proton neutron model. This was proton neutron model. This is the second model. And according to this model, suppose we have a nuclei X, here this is ZXA. Then in the nuclei, we will have a number of protons. Number of protons inside the nuclei will be equal to Z. Number of neutrons, their number will be equal to A minus Z. A minus Z. This is the situation of the nuclei. And outside this nuclei, there will be electrons whose number will be equal to Z. Outside this nuclei, we will have electrons whose number will be exactly equal to Z. So here number of protons, positive charge particles are equal to Z. Number of electron, negative charge particle is also equal to Z. So positive charge and negative charge, they are equal. So the atom is, overall atom is neutral. As well as inside the nuclei, number of protons plus neutron is equal to, if you add these two terms, this you will find out A. So mass is also verified, satisfied basically. So second model was proton neutron model, and he sorted out whatever shortcomings or whatever problems were there with the proton electron model. It sorted out nearly all the problems which were present. So first problem was, what was the first problem? Spin and statistics. First problem was spin and statistics. Spin and statistics. Suppose example was again 7 and 14. So here, according to this formula, number of protons inside the nuclei, they will be equal to Z. 7 number is here. Number of neutrons, they will be 14 minus 7. So their number will be 7. Their number will be 7. So number of protons and number of neutrons, they are separately equal to 7 inside the nuclei. So if we have 7 protons, then we will have 3 complete pair of proton, and we have 1 unpaired proton. Here we have 1 unpaired proton. In case of neutron, again you will have 3 complete pair, and you have 1 unpaired neutron. So now, according to this model, inside the nuclei you have 1 unpaired proton and 1 unpaired neutron. How much spin is associated with this? It is half. This also carries half. Both have a spin equal to half. दोनों के साथ जो spin associated है वो half है. Now there are two possibilities. Either they will be parallel, either they will be parallel, or they will be anti-parallel. ये half है, ये भी half है बेटा, ये भी plus half, this will be plus half, so this will be 1. Here I will be equal to 1, and here this is plus half, this is minus half, as you have suggested earlier. Then this I will be equal to 0. So two possibilities are there, 0 and 1. Experimentally, they find out that I is equal to 1, so they observed that okay, this type of thing is there inside the nuclei, so I is equal to 1 is possible here. So according to this model, I is 1 is possible. So this model is much better than the earlier one. Second, if spin I is equal to 0 or 1, then automatically this nuclei will act as boson. Bosons क्या होते हैं? Bosons are those particles, those statistical particles whose spin is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, full integer spin. 1h cross, 2h cross, 3h cross, like this. So here spin comes out to be 1. So this nuclei, collection or assembly of this type of nuclei, they will act as bosons, and automatically they will follow Bose-Einstein statistics.
Sir, here speech in 1 because the side मतलब ये clockwise direction में move करे. यदि दोनों anti clock में करे तो -1 भी हो सकते हैं सर स्पीड.
किसका बेटा? -1 का कोई मीनिंग नहीं होता बेटा.
सर जैसे I is equal to 1 होगा बिकॉज दोनों एक ही साइड में मूव कर रहे हैं, अप साइड में. अगर डाउन साइड में करे सर.
सुनो, हाँ, डाउन साइड और अप साइड कुछ नहीं होता. मैं आपको बताता हूँ. आप एक डायरेक्शन चूज कर रहे हो, ये
जी सर,
समझ रहे हो मेरी बात? ये डायरेक्शन चूज कर रहे हो, ये डायरेक्शन तो आर्बिट्रेरी है. दिस डायरेक्शन इज आर्बिट्रेरी. आप कह रहे हो कि एक इधर कर रहा है, दूसरा भी इधर कर रहा है, तो दिस विल बी +1. दूसरा आप बोल रहे हो कि एक इधर कर रहा है, एक इधर कर रहा है, so this will be -1. there is no meaning, दोनों सेम है. So in that case, if one is here, another is here, so automatically you have two spins. So reference किधर होगा बेटा? Downward direction. So automatically that will be equal to 1. दोनों सेम है.
Sir, what is the meaning of spin is 2?
Spinning is meaning of spin equal to 2. वो भी आ सकता
Yes,
है.
sir. Can it be possible, sir?
बिल्कुल पॉसिबल है.
Sir,
जब न्यूक्लियाई जब हम सेल मॉडल पढ़ाएंगे ना, सेल मॉडल पढ़ाएंगे तो अलग अलग स्टेट आती हैं, जिसमें 0+ भी आएगी, 2+ भी आएगी, 4+ भी आएगी, 6+ भी आएगी. तुम तो 2 की बात कर रहे हो, मैं कह रहा हूँ 4+ भी आ जाएगा, 6+ भी आ जाएगा, 3- भी आ जाएगा. तो सारे स्टेट्स आ जाएंगे, तो चिंता मत करो. अभी एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाऊंगा क्योंकि बिल्कुल बीच में खड़े हैं. ठीक है, उसके लिए फिर कुछ और एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा, तो सेल मॉडल तक वेट करो. ग्राउंड स्टेट में नहीं होगा. जो मैं आपको, हाँ, आपके क्वेश्चन का एक आंसर जरूर है. एक चीज मैं आपको स्पेसिफाई कर दूं, आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा, जो आप स्पिन बता रहे हो जैसे 2+ या 3+, दैट विल नॉट बी इन द ग्राउंड स्टेट. ग्राउंड स्टेट में नहीं पॉसिबल. लेकिन एक्साइटेड स्टेट, अगर आप न्यूक्लियाई की एक्साइटेड स्टेट में जाते हैं, उन्हें स्टडी करते हैं, देन यू कैन फाइंड आउट 2+, 3+, 4+ लाइक दिस. ठीक है, पर ग्राउंड
स्टेट में सर 0, 1 और हाफ पॉसिबल है.
हाँ, ठीक है.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
चलिए बेटा, आज इतना ही करते हैं, टाइम हो गया. कल फिर आगे डिस्कस करेंगे. फर्स्ट पॉइंट आई हैव डिस्कस्ड. After this we will start. Okay beta. Bye.
Okay, sir.
Most welcome beta. Most welcome.
Thank you sir.